So this video is not gonna be too long, child. What's going on with the angle? Whatever. This yes. Hold on. Oh yes. Oh yes, child. Get into it. Married to Medicine is a hot mess, honestly. It is clearly, they set this up to be Phaedra's downfall. For Phaedra's, we coming at Phaedra this season. It is very clear they let her ride and let her slide her first season, and now it's just like, okay. Now everybody's saying, we let Phaedra slide, let's get on Phaedra. And it's led by Dr. Heavenly, of course. Okay, first of all, they're in Key West, I think, Florida, and they're doing a little relay race thing. They divided up in teams. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly on the same team. Dr. Mimi, the new couple, and her husband Steve is paired with Dr. Simone and Cecil. Toya Bush Harris and Dr. Eugene is paired with was she paired with Quad? I think she was paired with Quad and King, and then I think Phaedra was on the team with Dr. Jackie and Curtis. However it went, something like that, whatever. It was a bust. I think Steve won. Steve's an athlete. He's a football player. Probably the most in shape outside of Quad's man. It just wasn't the type of activity for that particular group, in my opinion. I wouldn't have even done it. I learned how to swim when I was 13, I think, when I went to camp, 12, 13. And I haven't did much swimming since then. And now I'm a hot, supple, young 22. So, 22. And so yeah, I kind of forgot. Kind of somewhat. I got to get back into it. I have to use those muscles again. It just wasn't the tea. They was out on a little surfboard. It just looked no. There's something for like some young college kids to do, in my opinion. But anyway, so moving on from that, Simone and Heavenly talk. This is when Heavenly reveals that she has decided to invite Apollo. And she told Phaedra about it. She mentioned it to Phaedra. Phaedra was clearly uncomfortable with it, but she didn't want to look like Apollo's presence bothered her. Because then that would be something that Heavenly and the group would use against her, of course. And it's not even that I'm Team Phaedra, and I understand their issues with Phaedra, and Phaedra's all those things they say. But I don't like how they do things on the show. In terms, they like to gang up and bully people, and I don't like that. And they like to, rally behind each other. Even though when they know somebody is wrong, they still won't say it or go all the way there against somebody else. And they're real cliquish, real bad on the show. But anyway, so she told Phaedra, Heavenly, and she told Simone, and Simone didn't want to say in that moment that Heavenly was wrong. Why are you being messy? When she knows that Heavenly's being messy. But it's not against her, so it's okay. I was just like, what? Why do they keep trying to make Apollo happen? Honestly, I guess they have nothing else on Phaedra but Apollo, but to use against her, really. I already told y'all, Apollo, he's a good looking dude, but he's not my cup of tea. I just don't care to see Apollo for what. So, anyway, obviously they're doing it despite Phaedra. And let me see, what else is going on? So we get to the whole thing. We get to the couples sit down with Heavenly. She's asking her shady questions. I wouldn't even attend, to be honest. Shaq, which is the guy that Phaedra, the African dude that Phaedra met at the dating event, Sweet Tea's dating event, handsome dude. He revealed that he knows Apollo and knows his wife. I guess they were cool, I guess. So he came and, Phaedra was wearing her little black get up, child, giving it to the girls. And Phaedra arrived. Heavenly immediately starts with the drama. She asks if they are sexually active. And she was just like, you can ask these questions. She said something like, you can ask these questions, answer these questions, even though, you ain't been together long or whatever, even though you're not married. Trying to throw shade at Quad and King and Phaedra and Shaq. I was just like, it's heavenly, child. So then they started talking. So the drinks started flowing. In particular, the drinks started to flow in Quad's cup. And it just got really weird. The questions got more and more shady. Or I would say the questions, it's typical Heavenly questions. So you can't really blame Heavenly per se, but Heavenly knows what she's doing at the end of the day. When it comes to, she knows the dynamics of the group. She knows the ins and outs of people's relationships in the group. She, please. So on one question they got on how many times they do the do. And everybody else was on it, 0, 1, 2. And Quad said that they do it 15 times a day. Y'all must don't work. Who has time to be on top of each other 15 times a day? I said, okay, girl. So they talked about that, and then Sweet Tea, she held up like 2. She said more when they were trying to get pregnant. And then Quad started taunting Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And she was just like, oh, well, I'm going to throw the baby shower, baby. Well, baby Lux for coming soon. I'm going to throw the baby foul shower. Yes, God, Miss Quad. It's me. You know all this stuff Quad be doing. And Sweet Tea was just smiling at her, child. When nobody paying Quad no attention. She just kept going, kept addressing them. Y'all are not friends, Quad. Why are you even addressing them? So, what was the next question they asked? They also said, King, Quad's man, has a 9-year-old daughter that he takes care of or helped take care of, and he's a great father and all that good stuff. And Quad said, it makes me want to bust it wide open. She's ready to give it all for King. I said, okay, Quad, girl. Just once again, taunting Dr. G when she don't want kids by Dr. G. Not taking away all the stuff. I don't doubt anything that Quad says about how he is. But it's just the way that she's doing it. It's just petty. And it's for what? I'm all for if somebody comes for you, come back at them. But if ain't nobody bothering you, don't bother them. And Quad was bothering them people. I watched the episode multiple times. I'm a fan of Miss Quad, but I don't care. I can read anybody when they're wrong, and Quad was wrong in this episode. So she was just doing the most. And so let me see, what was the final question that got them riled up? Oh Lord, I probably should have went back. Let me see. I think Dr. Heavenly asked, it was just a back and forth exchange. It just kept going and going. And then Toya brought up the uncomfortableness when it came to Dr. G and Quad. And how it's just uncomfortable that you're saying all this stuff in front of Dr. G. And that kind of started the whole thing. But Toya was just being Toya, right? Toya's very upfront. She's just going to say whatever she feels, right? And it was uncomfortable, but only Toya would voice it probably. So then Sweet Tea and Quad got into it because Sweet Tea stood up for herself as she should. Because Quad kept making comments and coming for her. Quad wanted a thing. This whole fight that's going to happen between King and Dr. G is what Quad wanted. in the beginning because she wanted to get Dr. G back for whatever, how he did her and treated her and stuff. And also, before I keep going, I saw a post where it said something like, nobody extended the grace to Quad when it came. Nobody cared about Quad being uncomfortable when it came to inviting her ex and wife back on the show, and I agree with that. However, I was talking to this with one of my friends. The anger is misplaced then, if that's the case, because ultimately Dr. G, he can come back on the show if he wants to. He was there from the beginning, just like Quad. He has that right, and also Dr. G, he never, not one time, to her face, disrespected Quad when Quad was single. Remember at the Met Gala, when everybody was coming for Quad last season, he didn't even want to say nothing to Quad. He spoke to her across the room. She called him over there asking Sweet Tea, oh, can I hug his neck? Y'all remember that? So it's just like, I understand what they're saying, but the issue is the ladies, if that's the case, because it was Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly that came and cheerleaded for Sweet Tea to be on the show. So your real issue, Quad, should be with Heavenly and Jackie and not Dr. G and Sweet Tea. What's wrong with that girl trying to get a chance? Who cares? If you over somebody, you over them. The problem, your two friends wanted them on the show for a storyline and for the mess and for the drama. So although I agree with that statement, I also don't agree at the same time. But what I agree overall is that both Dr. G and Quad need to heal from that situation. But Quad started it on this latest episode. She did. She started it, all of it. So anyway, they ended up getting up, Quad talking junk to Dr. Mimi because Dr. Mimi is in association with Dr. G and Sweet Tea. So she's automatically more aggressive with Mimi, which was so stupid and unnecessary. I said, girl. Dr. G started yelling at Sweet Tea out of anger for Quad. Upset, irritated, wanted Sweet Tea to be quiet. Which he was wrong for yelling at her like that. But he was frustrated and he didn't want to come at Quad in that way because it would have got real ugly. Then King would have jumped in and the fight would have happened before it happened. And so after that, Dr. G, he walked off. He was frustrated and mad. Sweet Tea went to go try to find him. And Toya was just like, well, he's jealous, girl. Like, you have to see King with the muscles and all that. I think that may be a part of it, but I don't think that's all of it. Either way, Dr. G wouldn't have reacted the way that he did if Quad wasn't doing the most. He would have just sat back there and not said nothing. Him and King didn't even address each other. Since the beginning, they didn't speak because Quad created that thing. She kept saying when they were getting ready to go to the Met Gala and all the scenes that we would see them filming at home, she kept bringing up Dr. G. Oh, you going to say something to my husband? You going to say something to my husband? What you got to say to my husband? How you feel about my ex-husband being there? Ex-husband being there. Why? Why you keep even creating this thing, Quad? Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind. So that happened, and the episode went off, child. It was a good episode. I think next week is maybe when Apollo's coming. I don't know. It's going to be a mess. But Heavenly, going back to her, she wanted to blindside Phaedra. She did by bringing Apollo and his wife on the show. But, Phaedra brought somebody. So they was hoping that Phaedra was going to be alone this entire time so that all those women can gang up on Phaedra. That's what they was hoping for. But Phaedra, child, y'all lightweight compared to Phaedra in terms of reads and gags and shades. So, I mean, she was ready for y'all either way. But that's what y'all wanted, Phaedra to be there by herself. So y'all keep coming for her anytime you want. Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Heavenly. It's a pack of old lady mean girls. I tell you. Anyway, with that said, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at Eskins on Instagram and Twitter, at Eskins89 on Snapchat, Chess King on Facebook, Mr. Chalaki on Cash App, PayPal, and TikTok. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.